and welcome to In the Public Interest. I am your host, Jacque Howard. You're listening to us live over WIMG 1300 on the AM dial, and you can also see us on television on channel 25 WZBN. We are also streaming over the internet at WIMG1300.com. Today, I have the privilege of having the lovely Nacone Martin in our midst. Nacone, how are you today?
How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. Nacone and I are going to be speaking today about fashion and art and all those wonderful things. So we're going to jump right into it. Nacone, briefly, just give me a little history, and the listening audience, a little history about yourself.
Okay, my name is Nacone Martin, and the reason why I'm here today is because I'm a commercial model / actress, and I'm coming to talk to you guys about any of you who are interested in getting started in the business. I get questions all the time. How do I get started? What do young models do? How do they get out there? So today I'm going to talk a little bit about my career, how it's progressed, and what upcoming aspiring models can do to try to break into the business as well.
Excellent. So you're classified as a commercial / lifestyle model. What exactly is that?
A commercial model is basically anything. If you turn on the television, you see different types of people representing products, things, activities. So commercial or lifestyle modeling is doing everything in everyday life. And it can range from doing commercials, films, videos, anything of that nature. Magazines, billboards.
Okay, so there's actually a whole market out there for people who do commercial modeling. You don't actually have to be a particular size,
Correct.
Hair color, anything of that nature. Literally, it's a commercial. So everyone we see on television,
right.
the diversity, that literally is their commercial models, right?
That's right.
Excellent. Okay. So you've been doing this for how long?
Well, I started when I was 15. I'm a little older now.
Not much, not much.
That's really sweet. But I've been dipping and dabbing it for many, many years. But I put my career on hold, such things as because of raising a child and just life got in the way. So my son, who is now in college.
Wow.
So I decided to pursue my dream a little late and probably against a lot of naysayers and probably really without supposed to have much success, but I've been successful.
Well, I'll tell you what, folks, for those of you who are not watching on television, you're missing out. Nacone is beautiful. I've known her since high school. Big shout out to the Ewing High Blue Devils. And I was shocked to find out that she's got a son who is in college. She looks like she could probably pass for being in college, hence why it's probably good that this is the profession that you're choosing. So can you talk a little bit about what your resume consists of? I know you said you do commercials and you do modeling and runway. I've seen your pictures, and you've done some things on TV, but what's your resume consist of?
It consists of everything. I've been fortunate enough to do music videos, billboards, like you said, runway, television, film, magazines, so I've basically done it all. I think the most recognizable things that I've done in my career, I've worked with Jay-Z, Kanye West, Rihanna. Recently, I did the daytime television show, The Revolution, as a fitness model. I've been asked by the Katie Couric Show, which is airing actually in September, to come on that show and do a segment. I currently model for Foreman Mills. I'm sure you guys have heard of that.
Foreman Mills!
I've done Shape Magazine, which is probably familiar to a lot of people, in different videos. I also work with Method Man, Red Man, Vicki Martin, if anybody knows her. She's pretty big in the club arena, so I've been pretty fortunate.
That's awesome. You've got a pretty diverse diverse background as far as work experience goes. Let's transition over and talk a little bit more about your television and film background and
it's
experience.
Crazy because I decided that I wanted to maybe get into acting because everyone told me acting, you get more exposure, pays a little better. So I started going online and looking for just little bits because you'll see a lot of that for extra work. And actually Charles Denton 2 years ago was in Philadelphia looking for extras for his film called The Gift. And because I'm so personable, and personality is everything in this business, guys, let me tell you, I got really, I guess, friendly with the casting director, and she loved me. And this is by telephone. She had never seen me. So she was like, well, we got a quick part that we need to cast for in Charles' movie. Have you ever acted? And I said, no. So she was like, well, anyway, send me your information, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to run it by the producers, the director. So I did, and within a couple of hours, she called me and she said, can you come to Philly tonight to do a quick read? So I had no idea. So, I didn't really know what was going on, so I was like, sure. I arrived in Philly that evening. Lo and behold, I wound up auditioning directly for Charles Dutton.
Oh, wow.
And got the part. So it's crazy. Unfortunately, the movie has not been released yet. This was done a couple of years ago. So hopefully, please, Mr. Dutton, release this movie. But it was awesome. I was on set. I was thrown just, right into that gamut. And when it was done, the writer himself came over to me and said, you nailed it. Mm-hmm. So from there, I was like, maybe I really better seriously try this. So.
Sure. And for the folks out there in the listening and viewing audience, Charles Dutton, his show that was on network television was Rock, right?
Yeah.
And he's also performed on stage in New Brunswick, and he does that quite often. So that's who Nacone has had some working experience with. Can you tell me a little bit about this, the next project that you have that's coming up as far as this television spot?
It is a reality television show. Please don't judge me, everyone. But it's called Pass the Rock, and if anybody is familiar with Pass the Rock, it was a athletic clothing line that was introduced years ago and worn and supported by the NBA basketball players. It kind of crashed, but now it's resurging. So the reality show is basically based upon Jarrett Green, shout out to Jarrett, resurging his athletic line, also showing him in a daily life as an entrepreneur. His best friend, partner, and he manages Kenny Anderson, so he is involved in the project as well.
It's another New Jersey connection?
Yes. Mm-hmm. So the twist is Jarrett, unfortunately, is overweight, about 60 pounds, so his face does not match his brand of being athletic clothing. So you will also see him working with nutritionists, personal trainers to get the weight off. And where I come in, I'm dating Jarrett during the show. So you will
we'll get a chance to see you dating the main person, Jarrett Green. Okay. So regarding the show Pass the Rock, what's the approximate start date or start time that's going to air?
We're currently filming. They're putting the pilot together. I really don't have any further information. I did hear there are 3 networks that are competing over this project. So basically they're trying to get the pilot together and show it to the networks, and we'll see. But I do know they hope to have it completed, I believe, sometime in September. So
that's going to be quick, less than 30 days. Well, again, folks, you're listening to In the Public Interest on WIMG 1300 AM. I'm your host, Jacque Howard, and you're watching over WZBN Channel 25 in Mercer County, New Jersey. And I'm speaking with Nacone Martin, I don't know, you're still a Ewing resident?
Still Ewing.
Still a Ewing resident, but she's also a model/actress. And we're talking a little bit about her experience. And in the second half of the program, we're going to get into talking about the actual business itself. And Nacone's going to provide some information for the aspiring actors and actresses. Do we still use that terminology or no? Okay.
Correct.
Who want to know a little bit about the business and how they can get started. So, Nacone, let's jump back, and usually when I do these interviews, I'm all over the place because when I look at my cheat sheet, I get a little excited because all these different things are jumping out at me. But just talk a little bit about where you've gone as far as like on locations for your work experience.
Well, really, everything for me has happened in New York and Philly. I also once was able to work in Las Vegas. But my current goal, of course, is to get to Los Angeles because that is like the big movie capital right now. My dream is to ultimately work with Tyler Perry and be in one of his movies. So, but basically everything I've done has been local.
Okay. And do you have an agency representation that's local?
I do. I am represented by Funny Face Today, which is in New York, and they are a commercial modeling agency, and actually they just broke into the acting side, or like the film and television side. So I'm very excited about that because not only am I now doing castings for modeling, now I'm doing castings for like commercials and film and such and such. So.
And what should our listening and viewing audience believe as far as realistic expectations? This isn't something that people shouldn't go in thinking, okay, someone told me I look good, or I can go in and I can get a job, and I'm going to be flying out to LA. It's a lot of pavement pounding.
Right. It's all about what they are looking for at that particular time. I mean, I've heard, as for me, model, heard that all my life, you should be a model, but it doesn't work. There's different areas of modeling. There's commercial modeling, there's high fashion modeling, which I am not. So high fashion modeling, you have to be at least 5'9", you have to have certain measurements. And then there's glamour modeling, which is like a Victoria's Secrets model where they're more voluptuous. You also have parts modeling where they might just want to use your hands or feet. There's also fitness modeling where, you know, you do athletic stuff. So you just have to know where you roll, where you fit. Like, I knew that I'm not 5'9". I'm a little older because fashion models, high fashion models, they're usually working at age 16, 17, and they say their career is basically over in their early 20s. But that's why I love commercial modeling because, like we said earlier, there's no restrictions on age, height, color of skin, nothing. So it's all about if they like you and if, you know, they want to cast you for that part, then...
So it really is a matter of putting in the time and getting hooked up with an agent or an agency so that you can actually have them do a little bit of work for you and
Possibly,
at least open some doors for you.
Possibly. A lot of things I've done on my own through networking, meeting people, getting out there, doing my own research, being on various casting websites myself, and I really didn't get agency reputation until 3 years ago. So, and you know my age. So it's not impossible. But like I said, it's all about what they're looking for and what they want at that particular time. So literally all different walks of life can give this some consideration. Absolutely. Like I said, if you turn on the television, you see babies from senior citizens on television. So there is a fit, I believe. So any young lady or young man that comes to me and asks about commercial modeling, I say go for it.
Well, you know, why don't you give your contact information and maybe some places where the listening and viewing audience can see some of the work that you've done, and then maybe they'll start trying to reach out to you.
Sure. You can find me on Facebook at my name, Nacone, Nacone Martin, Martin. I'm also on Twitter under the same name, Nacone Martin. And if you would like to email me, if you have any questions you would like to ask me, I'm always happy to answer. I mentor a lot of young girls. Same thing, NaconeMartin@gmail.com. I try to make it very, very easy.
Absolutely. So when you blow up, there won't be any doubt about who you are. So everyone, Nacone Martin, Nacone Martin, traditional spelling. You can look for her on Facebook, Twitter, and she does a lot of mentoring. So I know we've got a large listening and viewing audience that's church-based, and they have a lot of youth programs. I think it would be a good idea to kind of reach out to Nacone for those drama classes and fashion and so forth.
And also, I would like to mention there's a lot of young ladies that are doing fashion shows. I also am a runway coach. So I've done a lot of runway. So I've done a lot of shows where I just come in and I train the models. So that's always fun.
Good. We've got about 2 minutes or so before we get into the break, but you touched on something that I think is important. You spoke about being a single parent and trying to have a career, a demanding career, that is not a traditional 9-to-5 career. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. I've been very fortunate. I do have a 9-to-5. I do go to work every day, but my job is flexible. And unfortunately for me, people use their vacation time to go on vacation. I use my vacation days to do castings or jobs when I book them. So, and like I said, I'm blessed. My company knows what I do. They do support me. I've been with my company for years. So if I do have to leave quickly or on short notice, you know, they're understanding. But there are times where I know I can't attend a casting, and it's okay. You know, my agent doesn't hold it against me. But like I said, I did have to put my career on hold for a while to raise my son, who was very active in sports and school. So I had to you know, figure out what was more important, and of course it was him.
Sure, you want to give a shout out to him?
Yes, shout out to Chad.
Chad Martin, how you doing, man?
Yes, I'm very proud of him. He's going to be a senior at Bloomfield College this year. So once he got into college, I was like, it's my time. I'm going to try. I tried. I was successful.
Fantastic.
So, never say never is what I say.
Good,
yeah.
Good. All right, so folks, we're about up on a break. Just want to say again, you're listening to In the Public Interest on WIMG 1300 AM. My name is Jacque Howard. I'm your host, and we've been speaking with Nacone Martin, who is an actress, model, and she has been talking about the business, and we'll get into more of that in the second half of the program. Just please stay tuned, and you're watching over WZBN Channel 25 in Mercer County and over the internet at WIMG1300.com.
I'm Professor Burke from the University of Farmers, where trial by fire is taken literally, and this is a pop quiz. True or false? Choosing an auto policy can be confusing. True. About as confusing as learning to speak dolphin. Luckily, we lay out your coverage options in plain English and never subject you to the terribly condescending manner in which dolphins communicate.
If you want answers about auto insurance, you want a Farmers agent. Find yours at farmers.com. We are insurance.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Coverage not available in all states.
If you have a child at home receiving free or reduced price lunches through the National School Lunch Program, you may qualify for affordable internet. Comcast Internet Essentials helps families in need get online at home. Because when your kids are at home with the internet, they're at home with
chemistry, algebra, homework, graduation, college.
When your children are at home with the internet, your whole family is at home with opportunities. Find out if you're eligible today. Visit InternetEssentials.com or call 1-855-8-INTERNET.
And welcome back to In the Public Interest. I'm your host, Jacque Howard, and you are listening live over WIMG 1300 AM and watching over the television at WZBN Channel 25 in Mercer County, New Jersey, and on the internet at WIMG1300.com. I've been speaking with and will continue to speak with a friend of mine, Nacone Martin. Nacone is an actress slash model with lots of experience. We've had some conversation about her history. Her, she's born and raised and still lives in Ewing Township. She's got lots of work experience. So now we want to talk a little bit about the business. But before we do that, you can also find Nacone's information via Facebook, Twitter, and her name is spelled Nacone Martin, Martin, so you can look her up on Facebook and Twitter. She has done some mentoring. She is a runway coach for your aspiring models and actors and so forth, and as well as your organizations that are looking to have a guest speaker come in to talk to the young adults and even maybe some adults in your networks who may want to know really what's going on with the business. So Nacone, jump right into talking about the business, like from A to Z. How would you encourage folks to get started?
Well, first of all, you gotta want it. Like anything, it's a hard business. It's dog eat dog. It's not sympathetic to you. It doesn't care about your feelings. So you have to have a thick skin. And if it's what you want to do, I say put one foot in front of the other and go for it. That's basically, with anything in life, you just gotta want it and be ready to work hard for it. It took me years to get where I am today. And I'm still pushing. I'm still not where I would like to be, ultimately.
And for you folks, once you look on Nacone's Facebook page and start following her on Twitter, you'll see some of the ad work that she's done, some of the print work, as well as some of the actual acting work that she's done also. So Nacone, throughout the malls, especially with the holiday season coming up, you'll see these like studio booths, and they're handing out cards and give us thousands of dollars and we'll get you a portfolio. Can you talk a little bit about what that is and why is it done?
It's crap. That's what it is. And I tell every young lady, aspiring model, stay away from them because It's just a way, excuse me, to get your money. Basically, they come up to you. They're usually young girls, which is like the first sign. How is a young lady going to tell me what's hot or what's not hot in a modeling agency? They're teenagers. They come up to you, they approach you, hey, you ever think about modeling? They hand you out some information, call this number, you call the number, they say, come on in, let me talk to you. You go in, they want to sign you up, they want to do all this stuff, but they say, hey, we got fees that are involved. You need to work with our photographer, which could cost you about $1,000 to get a portfolio going, or we want to put you on our website because that's how you'll book jobs, which will cost more money. Ultimately, I ran into several girls who have gone this route and absolutely nothing has happened. I recently talked to a mother who spent $2,000 trying to get her daughter into modeling by doing that, and nothing, not a zip. So I say stay away from it. I can tell you how to pursue an agent, which is basically, it's very simple. First I would say do a search for agencies online. I really only suggest agencies out of New York. You can Google, if you want to do commercial or high fashion, you can Google, you will get a list of all the agencies. Usually the most reputable agencies will come up first. And what they usually ask is you send in a couple of shots. One is a nice clear headshot, natural, no makeup, with your hair pulled back or away from your face, and the other one is a full body shot. Usually they ask for something like skinny jeans and a t-shirt or a white beater so they can see your frame. Put your information on the back, mail it in. Simple, easy, affordable. If they're interested, they will contact you. If you don't hear from them, then you'll have to try again, because like I said, they're only looking for what they want at that particular time. So if I send my pictures to you, Jacque, you're an agent, and you say, nope, seen it, done it, not interested, your pictures go in the garbage. There's no magic filing room or anything of, that they keep your pictures on file and come back for you later. So like I said, you have to keep trying. I usually suggest that if you don't hear anything within 30 to 60 days, do it again.
And do you also suggest that people keep it fresh? Do they send in new pictures, or do they just kind of keep recycling their same thing because looks and demand changes? What are your thoughts?
Either or, because I feel that they look at your pictures very quickly, they make a decision. They're not spending minutes and hours on your pictures unless they're really interested. So they probably can make a determination within seconds. So basically what I'm saying is they probably will forget you if you send in the same pictures 30 to 60 days later. They probably won't remember that you previously had. But, if you want to switch it up, or, if you have some kind of change where your hair is a different color or you lost weight, then by all means take new photos. That's the other thing. You must look like your photos too, ladies. You can't send in a photo and you have hair down to your behind, and if they call you in, you're bald. You can't do it,
So I can't go in, send in photos of me with my dreads and then show up now.
Right.
For those who aren't watching, I have no hair now. Probably got more hair on the bottom of my lip than I do on my whole head. But, okay, so in regards to the photographs, of course, better photographers are going to produce better pictures, or do you just think just digitally or getting someone who knows what they're doing?
They always say digital. And that's the other thing. You do not have to go out and spend a lot of money on pictures. You don't need a professional photographer. You just need a digital camera, your iPhone, whatever. Stand up against a white wall, take a couple of shots, and that's it. Because what happens, if the agencies are interested in you, they will call you and work with you to get your portfolio, your book going. So
fantastic.
That's where a lot of girls make mistakes and we fail, because you spend all this money and nothing happens. So.
And you're listening to In the Public Interest on WIMG 1300 AM and watching over WZBN Channel 25 in Mercer County and over the internet at WIMG1300.com. I'm Jacque Howard, and this is In the Public Interest, and I'm speaking with Nacone Martin from Ewing Township, and she is a commercial model / actress, and we've been talking about the business. And one more time, I just want to give her contact information out, or at least a way for you to reach out to her. You can do it via Facebook and Twitter, and her name is spelled Nacone, Martin, the traditional spelling, and you can reach out to her, your groups, your networks, and you can book her for an opportunity to come out and speak to some of your young people who want to get involved in the business, and even maybe just have her come as a guest speaker and share her information about what it's like to be a single mother with a child in college and doing the full-time gig, the part-time gig, and being flexible. So just reach out to Nacone. Now, Nacone, let's talk a little bit about networking and how important is that to this business, and how important has it been for you?
It's very important. It's like make or break for me, because I found in this business, a lot of times you do not know who you're talking to. So I always say be personable. Definitely have personality. Now, I've known you for years, Jacque, and for those who, Jacque hates when I say this, but he was my prom date in high school. So we go way back. But I did not know that Jacque was, hosting his own radio show. So if I'm a complete jerk to you, you're going to be like, forget her. I don't care what she's doing, who she is, what she looks like. So the first thing that I teach when you're out socializing, you never, ever know who you're talking to. Do not judge a person by their looks, anything, because you just don't. It's happened to me so many times. It's unbelievable. I went to dinner. I was invited last night out to dinner with a couple of friends, and I'm sitting next to a man